ISIS have claimed responsibility for a recent suicide attack in Iraq and named the bomber. But a family member has confirmed to Channel 4 News that the person shown in the image released by ISIS is a British man named Jamal Udeen al-Harith, a former Guantanamo Bay detainee who was released in 2004 and who was awarded compensation by the British government. Asad Beg has this report.
Jamal al-Harith, former British Guantanamo detainee, recipient of UK state compensation, and now, if the claims of ISIS are correct, the latest Briton to become a suicide bomber. An ISIS statement claimed responsibility for this attack, which it says targeted a military facility near the Iraqi city of Mosul. They say it was carried out by a British suicide bomber, releasing the image of a man they call Abu Zakaria al-Britani, in what they described as an explosives-laden vehicle. Channel 4 News cannot verify these claims, but we do know that this image is of former Guantanamo detainee Jamal al-Harith, who travelled to Syria in 2014. We've spoken to members of Jamal al-Harith's family, and they say they don't believe he would have carried out a suicide attack. However, a family member said that the picture that ISIS have released is of him. If it is true, this will be a huge embarrassment for the British government, who secured his release from Guantanamo in 2004. But last year, we revealed that despite his high profile, in 2014 he had been able to travel to Syria to join the so-called Islamic State, where he was joined by his family. On his return from the UK from Guantanamo, he claimed he had been tortured.
You ask, to explain, but they just say, no, you have to take an injection, that's it. I said, no, if I don't know what it is, I don't need it. I said, I'm healthy. And they said, no, you have to, we don't have no choice. And then they sent in their riot team. And then they just beat him up. And then put me in chains. They gave me by force, then put me in isolation for a month.
It was a claim that the United States denied, but the British government paid him and other British detainees an unconfirmed sum in compensation to settle out of court. On his return to the UK, then Home Secretary David Blunkett had vouched for him personally.
No one who's returned in the announcement today will actually pose a threat to the security of the British people.
Born Ronald Fiddler, the convert to Islam's journey began when he travelled from Manchester to the Pakistani city of Quetta in 2001, for what he claims was a religious trip. When the invasion of Afghanistan began, he tried to enter Iran, but was arrested at the border and handed to the Taliban. Locked up as a British spy, months later he was found in jail by US Special Forces and transferred to Guantanamo Bay, where he would spend the next 2 years. 10 years after his return to the UK, he made his way to Syria. The final part of his journey was revealed following an escape from IS-controlled Syria by his wife Shuki Begum and their 5 children in 2015. This program disclosed the pair were married and that Miss Begum had entered the country to try to persuade her husband to return to the UK. But she says her attempts failed and she endured a 10-month ordeal which included being passed between smugglers and rebel groups as she tried to escape.
Well, I knew I wasn't ISIS and I'm not ISIS. They would sit together and huddle around their laptops and watch ISIS videos together and discuss them and everything.
She wanted to leave, but al-Harith did not feel the same way.
Asked my husband to leave and he didn't want us to leave, so he wasn't going to help us to leave. He pretty much said that.
This suicide attack ends the journey of Jamal al-Harith. But there are other British citizens that have joined the ranks of ISIS. Harith isn't the first British suicide bomber. There are fears he won't be the last either.